this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what the projector invitation means, how to use it, how it feels, and how it plays out in life. As a fellow projector, this is something that I understand very deeply, and it's also something that I've gotten the most amount of questions around from the very beginning of my human design journey. And since it was something that I also had a lot of questions around that couldn't really be answered by most people, I've gone on a really conscious learning journey, and I have learned a lot, and I'm so excited to share that with you right now. So let's just dive right in. In human design, each type has their own strategy, and this is the way for you to use your unique energy in a way that will have you receive the best and the most enjoyable results in life. The projector strategy is to wait for the invitation. And I was so confused by this at first. Like, what? So I'm like supposed to get all these personal invitations from people? Like, in the mail? Like, I was so confused, and a lot of projectors were. I was not the only one, and a lot of projectors still are. So let's get this cleared up once and for all. An invitation is the occurrence where a person or persons are inviting you in, energetically or verbally, to guide their energy. So this could be a verbal invitation where somebody's literally asking you for help in an area that they know you're really good at. But it could also be an energetic invitation where, let's say, you're having a conversation in a group and the person talking in that moment is having a hard time getting the words out to say what they're trying to say. And you lock eyes with them and you can sense this openness that they have to your help. That's an invitation. That's an invitation for you to help them fill in the gap of what they're trying to say. And this is the kind of invitation that nobody else can point out for you. You can sense it through their energy and their body language. Either way, verbally or energetically, the invitation is somebody else opening up their energy to you. It's someone truly seeing you for who you are and being open to your energy, being present within their own. Because a true invitation, an aligned invitation for you, has to do with being truly seen and recognized for who you are being. Not what you're doing, but who you are being. Because as projectors, we want nothing more than to be seen and to be recognized for who we are. Like, I often say that recognition is like oxygen to me. Like, it keeps me alive. It makes me feel just amazing. But because projectors love recognition so much, a lot of times projectors will scramble for that recognition through their actions, doing things for people, taking on tasks. So we might hear a thank you so much, and that will fuel us for a little while. And then when we don't hear a thank you, we feel bitter because we've been taking so much onto our plate. Like, why won't people recognize us? But the thing is, you're not designed to be doing so much. We don't have the consistent energy to do all of the time. And so when you rely on your actions to get the recognition that you crave so much as a projector, you're gonna burn out. We're here to guide and lead people, and we do that by simply being ourselves, not through physical action. Now, of course, action is a part of life, right? But where other people shine in physical action, we shine in guiding and leading because we see people really deeply. We feel their energy. So we know exactly how to guide them in a way that will tell them how to use their ability to act or their energy in general in the best way, how to use their talents in the best way. We also understand systems really well, so you may guide people through the system that you know so deeply. So when do you actually need an invitation? Now, before we continue with that, I want to get some common misconceptions out of the way. First of all, you do not need an invitation to make general life decisions like eating, what to wear for the day, when to take a shower, life. Contrary to other human design teachers, I also do not believe you need an invitation for bigger things in life, like starting a business, opening up an Instagram account, moving to another country, deciding to study in a certain field. While people say you need an invitation to those things and can't act until you receive one, I have a very different perspective and opinion. So let's take an example and say that you would like to join a gym, for instance. And based on the theory that you would need an invitation in order for you to act on that idea, that invitation doesn't necessarily need to come from a person. So it could also be an invitation from the universe. So maybe you see a billboard somewhere with a commercial for this and this gym. Maybe you overhear people talking about a gym that they really like. And so you're basically having life or the universe show you signs based on the idea that you had. For those of you who know more about the Human Design generator type, that sounds pretty much exactly the same as the generator strategy of responding to life, doesn't it? What we just described, I see that as the universe giving you opportunities to potentially act on, to say yes or no to. By calling that an invitation from the universe, you're basically substituting the generator strategy of responding with the projector invitation. So you're calling the exact same strategy by a different name because you're a projector now and not a generator. Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. The generator needs to respond to life because that activates their sacral center, which is where their energy to act comes from. The projector doesn't have a defined sacral, so they don't need to activate anything, and so they don't have the same strategy. The projector makes decisions based on their inner authority, or in other words, their inner guidance system that tells you whether something is correct or incorrect for you, like everyone does. Your strategy, therefore, as a projector type in Human Design, has to do with your purpose in life. You're a guide and a leader. You see people and systems deeply, and you can help people become more efficient and more successful in life. In order to do that, however, you need an invitation. The strategy for the generator supports them in doing the correct things for them, as that is a big part of their life purpose. The strategy for you as a projector supports you in guiding the correct people. The invitation is something that comes from one or multiple people, and it's this direct recognition of something that they see and value inside of you that they'd like to receive from you. Guidance or knowledge or presence that they'd like to receive from you. So let's take the gym example again. Having a billboard state that you can join this or this gym, that's something you can choose to act on or not. But having somebody ask you to be their gym buddy because they would love to train with you, now that is an invitation. The invitation is applicable when other people are directly involved in some way, shape, or form. So if you want to move in with somebody, you're gonna need an invitation. But you then don't need an invitation from every other person who also lives in the building you're gonna move into. So why would you need an invitation if you're gonna move to another city or another country on your own? That's just my perspective, right? So just take what resonates for you and leave the rest. Human design is not something that has you live by strict rules. Human design is an experiment, so you can really feel into what works best for you. This is just me sharing from my own experience, as well as from the clients that I've had the privilege of working with. Now let's answer another common question. Why do I need an invitation from other people? Because as projectors, we love to give unsolicited advice. That's just fact. So why do we need an invitation? It's not exactly fun, is it? So I'm gonna explain this. So as a guide, you are able to see people very deeply. Your aura is designed to see other people's auras very deeply. And I'm not talking about visually being able to see an aura, right? I'm talking about on an energetic level, you kind of have X-ray vision. You're able to scan other people and know what's going on with them. You can imagine how invasive that would be for people if you can see them on such a deep level without their consent, right? That's not great. You wouldn't appreciate that either. And so that's where the invitation comes in, because it isn't until somebody gives you an invitation, until they give you that energetic consent, that you'll be able to see them on a much, much deeper level. So let's make this more tangible. And let's start with a practical example versus an energetic one. So let's say that you see somebody doing something wrong and they're struggling, right? Now you may know exactly how to do it. So you go up to them and you say, hey, you're doing this wrong. Let me show you how it's done. Now, they didn't ask for your help, right? So they might get offended and pull back, which has you feeling bitter because you're just trying to help. Like, why can't they see that, right? Now, same scenario, but different circumstances. So somebody is doing something the wrong way, they're struggling, and they're looking around kind of confused. So you feel this invitation that they're looking for help. You go up to them and say, hey, can I help you? Right? You're asking for an extra invitation that way. Hey, can I help you? And they say, yes, please. Can you show me how this is done? And now what's happening here is by you asking and by them saying, yes, please, their energy is opening up. And now your help is actually fully accepted and it's appreciated. And in the scenario where your help is fully accepted, that is something that gives you energy, where the previous scenario was draining your energy and left you feeling bitter. And the same thing happens to me as a coach. When someone's energy isn't fully open to me, not only does my guidance not land on even remotely the same level, but I'm also not able to guide them as deeply as I can when their energy is fully open to me. And this is why with some clients, their biggest breakthroughs happen towards the end of our first contract together, because even though they consciously were fully ready for my support and they'd given me that invitation, on an energetic level, they were still slowly opening up to me. And rightly so, right? Some people need more time, and that's the beauty of the projector invitation. It respects people's timing. So waiting to receive an invitation protects others from your interference when they're not actually ready for it, which is and should be their own decision after all, right? You're not here to give unsolicited advice no matter how much you may want to. Waiting for the invitation, no matter how much you're dying to interfere, it also protects your precious energy from being drained on those people that weren't actually ready, and therefore would have left you empty for the people that are ready for you. So now that you know why you need these invitations, let's talk about how to get more of these into your life. But before we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content on human design, astrology, and manifestation. How do you go about attracting more invitations into your life? And let me instantly clarify that and say more aligned invitations. Because just because you get an invitation doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. In order to get more invitations, you have to take 2 simple, though not always easy steps. And step number 1 is to recognize yourself. The more we crave recognition from others around us, the more we need it from ourselves first. When you truly value yourself, when you know what it is that you have to offer, when you know you can help people with whatever it is that you do best, you won't need other people to recognize you in that way. And the beauty is that the moment you don't need it anymore, that's when you're going to receive the most of it, because you've let go of the need. So you've let go of the exact resistance that kept it from coming in. Just like desperate energy doesn't work well in the dating world, it doesn't work well in the manifestation world either. So spend time honing your craft. What do you love to do? What do people always ask you questions about? What do you love talking about? What do you love reading about or studying about for hours and hours and hours? Do those things, because those are clues into the unique way that you are here to guide and lead other people. Step number 2 is to show up. How are people going to invite you if they don't know that you exist? Right? This is not about sitting on the couch and waiting for an owl to come in with your Hogwarts acceptance letter. We have to get out into the real world. So go to that job interview, or even just having an active LinkedIn profile, opening up a social media account, starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel. Right? And this is why I mentioned this is not something that you need an invitation for, because it's these things that are actually going to allow for the invitations to come in. Now, this is not always an easy thing for projectors. In fact, every single projector that I have worked with has had to go through some mental blocks in order to show up. It is very easy for us to just hide away and want people to come to us. And this is why we're often the worst at selling ourselves. So let me share this with you. Selling is serving. The world needs you. You have an incredible gift that people absolutely need. So talk about your offer. Talk about how you can help people, because when you don't, you actually take away your service from the people that want or need it. So selling is a service. Talk about your offer, talk about your talents. The people that are ready for you will invite you in to tell them more about it. They will invite you in to guide them based on their specific needs. But you have to show up and show yourself to the world first. For some, that means showing up online. And for others, that means spreading the news through word of mouth, right? There is no right or wrong way, but showing up is required. Now, a bonus step to receive more invitations is to ask for them. Yes, you can ask for an invitation. And I shared an example of this earlier in the video where there was this person doing something wrong, they're looking around, and you go up to them and you say, hey, can I help you? That question is asking for an invitation, as now they can say, yes, please, I'd like some help. And in doing so, in answering your question, they have now opened up their aura where they're accepting your support. I do this all the time with my clients where I say, hey, can I share some insights with you? Or would you be okay with me reflecting something back to you right now? Or can I give you some deeper guidance around this? Because even though as a client, they have already given me the invitation to coach and guide them by signing up to work with me, every time we ask for an invitation, their energy opens up again. And anything that I share with them after, any question I ask, because guidance can come in the form of questions, right? Every time we do that, it will land on a much deeper level. Asking for an invitation can also come in the form of asking someone, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? Anytime you feel like you could be able to support somebody in some way, shape, or form, you can just ask for an invitation. The caveat here, of course, is that you have to be truly okay with somebody saying no. And just because you ask for an invitation doesn't mean that the other person is now obligated to give you one. Just like when somebody gives you an invitation, you're not obligated to say yes and act on it. Now, how do you know if you have an energetic invitation or not? Right? It's so much easier after all if it's just a verbal one or a written one. So let's dive into a little exercise and an example that will show you how to know if you have an energetic invitation. Now, an easy way to practice the feeling is by having somebody else very firmly say no to you. And then ask yourself, what did that feel like? So for me, for example, that feels like a closed door, like there's a wall in front of me and I'm somehow unable to move forward. Now have that person say, come on in, with a genuine smile, and see how that feels for you. So for me, that feels the exact opposite. I feel an open door or an open space and I'm able to move towards them. So see how that feels for you. Maybe you want to pause the video here and go do that exercise, or maybe you already had a feeling going on as you heard me say no and come on in. Either way, I would love for you to take that feeling with you in the next examples. Let's say that two people are asking you to go for coffee, and the first person is saying, hey, let's go for coffee sometime. How does that feel in your body? Just do a quick assessment. Now, the second person is saying, hey, I would really like to go for coffee with you sometime. How does that one feel? Can you feel a difference? So for me personally, the first one is a general question. I don't feel particularly seen or recognized. Now the second person, I feel so seen because this person is wanting to specifically spend time with me. It's not even about the coffee per se, it's about spending time with me and my energy. That feels like an invitation. Okay, so let's try another one just for fun. So let's say that somebody says, oh yeah, I think 𝗬𝗘𝗧 does something with human design. You should ask her this question about projectors. That's great, thank you for the referral, but I don't feel specifically recognized. Where if somebody would say, oh yeah, you should ask that question to 𝗬𝗘𝗧. She's really good at making human design fun and easy to understand. Like, oh yeah, now I feel seen and recognized. Could you feel the difference in those examples? And look, the way that the invitation is going to feel for you may be very different from what I just described in the way that it feels for me. And this is where you get to experiment. This is where you get to feel into this on a consistent basis. So try it out with people that are close to you and see when is something an invitation and when isn't something an invitation. You're going to be able to feel the differences in your body, and they may be subtle differences, but you'll be able to pick up on it. So have fun practicing that, because the more you do, the easier it is going to be for you to save your precious energy for the people that are truly ready for your guidance. That was it for this video. If you have any questions, I invite you to leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, send me some recognition and hit that like button and subscribe for more. For now, I'll see you in the next one.